Call this meeting, the Oskaloosa City Council order. Today is Monday, May 20th, 2024, and the invocation of St. Mary's Catholic Church.
Let us pray. Father, we come before you today to give you honor and praise. You are worthy of praise. You are the source of all that is good. You are the source of all our blessings. Thank you for every gift that we have been given. We thank you for the opportunity to come and gather together this day. Thank you for every seat that has been filled here today. Thank you for calling us to serve your people of the city of Oskaloosa. For each mind and heart that feels the presence of this room, we thank you. We ask for your hand of blessing on this meeting. Only you truly know what we are setting out to accomplish today. We have an idea, a vision, hints, and daily instructions. We have talents, abilities, and time to work. However, only you can see in perfect detail the end of every beginning, every project, every season, every life. Nothing is ever in vain, for even mistakes and missteps are used for good. We ask that you would guide and direct our meeting so that it is full of wisdom, productivity, and respect for one another. We ask for your guidance and strength. Show us the way and fill us with courage and wisdom. Help us to remember your love and grace and to be faithful in our service to you. Give us the patience and understanding to face life's challenges with grace. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Almond. Here. Bellinger.
Here.
Comfort.
Here.
Strauss.
Here.
Hermson.
Here.
Ibrahim.
Here.
Ocean.
Here.
All right, first on the agenda is community comments. This item is reserved to receive comments from the community for concerns whether or not they're included in the current agenda. Community is encouraged to speak before the mayor and city council and keep statements brief. Time should be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Is there anybody here to speak tonight? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are routine in nature and enacted by one motion. Reviewing that, I don't see anything particular to call out, so do I have a motion of support?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, roll call.
Ibrahim.
Yes.
Ocean.
Yes.
Almond.
Yes.
Bellinger.
Yes.
Comfort.
Yes.
Strauss.
Yes.
Hermson.
Yes.
And on to the regular agenda, item A. This is consider resolution for the sale and delivery of conveyance of city-owned property located at 2075 Highway 63. The Iowa Department of Transportation is seeking to purchase the half acre of property currently owned by the city located at 2075 Highway 63 for use of right-of-way in the construction of the US 63 Northwest Bypass. Property is part of land owned by the water treatment facility, but it's not within the footprint used for production and does not have any planned future use. The DOT has had an appraisal performed for the land acquisition, has provided a purchase agreement in the amount of $3,200 for the property. Sale of city-owned property requires a public hearing as per sections 362.3 and 364.7 of the Code of Iowa. DOT will pay for or reimburse for the direct cost of publication of the public hearing. So public hearing is required. I'll open the public hearing. Does anybody want to speak? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion of support?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? This is just a small parcel just south of the water treatment plant along the highway. Roll call?
Ocean.
Yes.
Almond.
Yes.
Bellinger.
Yes.
Comfort.
Yes.
Strauss.
Yes.
Hermson.
Yes.
Ibrahim.
Yes. All right, that passes. Item B of the regular agenda is consider resolution adopting proposals for the employee benefit and insurance programs for fiscal year 2025. And Brad Ryman from North Risk Partners is here to present, and there's a whole bunch of terminology and numbers in here that, since you're here, Brad, I'm going to let you take care of it.
Thank you. Good evening, council. And I will tell you, Bob, you're the first person that ever said my last name right. Usually it's Riemann instead of Ryman. Thank you. It's
Thank
German, so it comes from so sorry about that.
He was practicing.
All right, everybody has, what was that?
He was
Just
practicing.
that I practiced it.
Did you tell him how to say it?
No.
I don't know if you have your package in front of you, but maybe you want to put it up on the screen. Okay, that first line up there, I just want to go over the voluntary vision. There was no rate change to the employees on that. Voluntary dental, there's no rate change on that, so there's no cost change to the employee. Group term life, that didn't change. That's the City of Oskaloosa's cost. That's $2,058 a year. That is a year. Group term life, voluntary life, that rate didn't change, so the employee's cost will not change for those who participate. The flexible spending account, there is no change in fee. Now, there is something I want to bring to your attention. The good news is that the cost has gone down to $395. Blue Cross Blue Shield was the administrator. They sent the bill to the city, and their arrangement was Health Equity, and Health Equity decided that we want to do it now direct, so what they're doing is they're reducing the cost by $1. So the cost now is going to be $63.60 based on 14 participants. So that cost goes down to the city. So just an FYI. We just got notification of that this morning. Cobra administration, there's no change for that. That's $1,100, $1,130. And then the HIPAA compliance is, we don't have the cost on that, but last year it was listed at $222. I don't anticipate that going up any more than the CPI. So I don't see any change in that. Does anybody have any questions on that page? All right. Now the page with all the numbers. All right. The numbers that I want you to do is, first of all, we have 3 columns here. The first column is the actual enrollment, and some of you may look at that and go, wait a minute, if they're identical numbers of enrollment at the top, why are the numbers different? Well, because what we're doing here on the left side, the first column, is there may be a fraction of an employee that you had 15 employees, one for 3 months, and the next month you had 3, so that comes out. So this is more of a fractional count. But then when we do the actual enrollment for the renewal, which will be July 1st, those are the actual numbers. So really we want to focus on column 2 and 3, okay? Because that can be kind of confusing. We want to show you what the actual cost would be. We got a lot of newbies here, so I think maybe I'll go through this just a little bit more detail this evening. The city has a $50,000 spec claim, maximum amount of claims they're taking on each belly button in the plan. So look at it this way, you got $50,000 is all the cities. Anything above that is Blue Cross Blue Shield. Then there's 125% of expected claims that goes out to this side, and said if you get more than 125, a bucket of all those 50 underneath that, no further than that, that's all Blue Cross Blue Shield. So this is your box in there, 50, 125%. So that's where we're getting. So that first administration cost we talk about, let's jump to the reinsurance. I'll come back to the administration piece. So the specific, the $50,000 costs $475.25 an employee, and the aggregate, the outside part, is $11.05 per employee. That's belly button. Now the administration of the plan is $54.67. Our advisor fee, as I indicated, has been that way for 10 years. We're going to up that, unfortunately, by $2 this year. So it's going to go up from 32 to 34. Just an FYI, if you were not self-funded, you were fully insured with Blue Cross Blue Shield, we get paid 40. So just an FYI, it's very, very competitive from what we get paid. The PBM fee, which is your prescription drug card that you go over to the pharmacy and get that process, is $1.10. And then to get the Alliance Select PPO network, it's $6.95. So that's a little bit of a $2,500 to $3,000 increase. So if you take the fixed cost, which is, this is a pretty good renewal, the fixed cost only went up 4.18%. That's the actual, that's what it's going to cost the city, fixed cost. So it only went up 4.18%. Now, Blue Cross Blue Shield also says, well, okay, what are your expected claims going to be? They do not think last year it's on track for 517,000. They don't think it's going to go up more than 8.3%. If you look at that number up there, the difference between 517 and 560 is 8.3, so they don't think your claims are going to go up any more than that. Now, it could go, if we get down to the maximum, it could go higher than that, but they don't think it'll go any higher. They've been pretty spot on every year. As a matter of fact, they've always been below. So the overall cost, if you look at the maximum, the worst case scenario is 7.01% increase. So I did abbreviated. For those of you didn't get it, ask questions. Or if you got any questions, Amy or Amal might be able to answer this for you. Does anybody have any questions
I
on
mean,
that?
I think a 7% increase on insurance is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, well,
It seems
We're dealing with that
lately.
university.
well,
We're
I look at it this
more
way.
than
7% on a number is what you look at.
Mhm.
It's really the dollars. If you have $100 and you have a 10% increase, that's $10. If you have a $200 premium, it goes up 10%, that's $20. So you got to look at it really more so from a standpoint. What's happening today is you're seeing, when you hear 15, 16%, that's a large increase because premiums are high now. Back in the 15, 20 years ago, they were, $100, $200, $125 singles. Well, you got a 10% increase. It wasn't so bad, but now you put it on the top of a $200 premium. It's so, when you say 7%, yes, that is a good renewal. What we're seeing, that is on the self-funded. Your claims have been, we didn't have any specific claims at all, which is good. Amy does a good job of making sure people don't get sick. So, anyway, any questions on that? Anybody? If you don't, I did for those, the new people, we put in the history in here to give you an idea of what has happened with the group for the last, I think we got 16 years in here if you want to look at what's happened in the past. And every year we've done it, it's always been ahead because we've self-funded. We looked at fully insured. You've got enough reserves, it doesn't make sense to do it. If it was my plan, that's what I would do. Yes,
When we say enough reserves,
Amy would be the,
yeah, because I'm concerned about the future.
yes.
And I have looked at some pretty hefty medical bills, and
Mhm.
my mother, died 5 years ago tomorrow of, renal failure.
Sorry
and
to hear that.
And if she hadn't been so good at insurance, my dad would have been bankrupt.
Yeah.
And that, but everything was paid. And so just one autoimmune kidney disorder. My husband and I both had cancer in the same year. Our rates shot up. People who had never been sick for,
Yep.
So I would kind of like, 2-3 people could get cancer.
Well,
And
remember-
Iowa has one of the highest rates, especially in rural areas.
Yes,
And
and
so,
that's very true, and more so in this area than it is in further. First of all, you got a $50,000 spec. That's the most anybody. Now, some company you work for or whatever had $100,000, they got the whole 100. The city's only got a $50,000 on it.
Okay.
But through all these years, they've kept reserves. So in the case it does happen next year that you need to, we do have the kidney failures or the premature babies or whatever it may be.
Right.
What kind of funds do they have set aside? Now, Amy would be the one to probably answer that a little bit more for you guys than it would be for me. Amy, you want to comment on that or?
Yeah.
how many disasters can we take?
Quite a few.
A few years ago, the fund had gone down. We had kept the premiums steady for about 5 years there, when the first time the unions all came in. But then we saw that, yes, we were losing through that. So we have been increasing. We're still just a tad under what Walmart is suggested for our premiums, but we're real close to what that suggested.
Okay.
We're almost at $1 million fund balance right now. And what we're looking at is, so we are within 1,000. If we have worst case scenario next year and it's 100% of what they're projecting, we have that budget.
Okay.
So we don't even look to plan on going into our reserve for
Okay.
that. So,
Because I don't want the council,
Correct.
6 years from now going, what were they thinking? They were living on the edge.
Evaluate every year.
Okay.
I think for the size we have right
It's a
now,
small
it makes-
size, yeah.
Yes, we do have overhead, but it makes total sense. So, and I had that in the policy that we revisit every year for that reason.
Correct.
I want to make sure we're making it the timely right decision.
Yeah,
And
if they're,
it's a
if they're,
discussion with the auditors every year too.
Yeah,
They won't
it's
tell
just,
us
it's
exactly where
such
we
a
should be,
small
but-
number
Yeah.
in that, and so there's no anonymity to it. You
Right.
know, if somebody has something, you know, it doesn't take too much to figure out, you know. And I hate to see that. I've seen much larger groups just
Right.
suddenly get vicious
Right.
about, well, who's running up our costs? And,
Yeah.
you know, how dare they get sick, in other words.
well, Mal brought up a good point, that if it does get to a point where maybe we should go to this fully insured instead of self-insured, you've got it built into your contract that says, okay, we're gonna switch. We've got you can buy what they call a terminal liability run out to pay for the run out, and then you go to fully insured, and now it's the insurance company's all their risk. So you're kind of covered on the reserves as well.
Okay,
So,
okay.
And we continue to buy that coverage for that reason.
Yeah.
If we needed to.
Oh, okay,
Right.
okay,
Mm.
that sounds good, because 14 is not a
Correct.
big number. I've worked places where you're
And you-
several
and-
hundred, and it still gets a little dicey, you know.
and you have I mean, I would be the same thing, you know, you're, what, less than 50 on the plan. So, you know, you're getting to that point, we've talked about this, but because you got reserves and it's done so well for you, that it hasn't been such a bad, if it starts turning bad on you, well, then it's time to.
There is a
it's
plan
time-
B.
It's time to reevaluate. But this has been a good renewal.
Make adjustments before
Okay,
we-
okay,
Been a
and that's
good
good
renewal,
to
like
hear,
Bob
that it
said,
isn't
it's
locked
been
in.
it's been a good renewal, so.
Yeah.
Brad has been a great partner.
Yeah.
And then we look at all the numbers and the statistics, so
Yeah.
I think we're well informed and.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
it.
Brad Riemann and Brad Ryman are both spectacular. So thank you. I think the other thing we always talk about this grandfathering status, and again we can change the plan.
Yeah, yes.
I think we brought it up before to where is it time to where the employee needs to cover a higher percentage of the premium? Because
Right.
right now I think it's 5%,
Yeah.
and you know which is a great benefit to our city staff. But you know where's that balance? And my understanding is the conversations always come back to we're better off staying with
Yeah.
the plan and the parameters that
Right.
we're under, right?
Right. The grandfather thing is you're gonna get an employee that's gonna maybe say, it doesn't cover this because it's grandfathered, okay? Well, what it does is it keeps the cost down, all right? And then also go somewhere else and only pay 5% of the premium, and then also go somewhere else and only have a 600 out-of-pocket max. Those they don't even exist anymore.
I know.
So, you know, you put all that into play, and there's, you know, at the same time, you got a good plan, you got reserves, it's still working, that kind of thing. And if it's gonna go, we'll get out.
Okay.
But I don't,
Okay, that's what I
I've been
wanted
saying
to-
that for 15 years, and it's never been that way, so.
Right.
And the other thing we talked about this year too is, you know, we've had some changeover of staff, so we're looking at maybe a survey to our employees, what is important to them in health insurance before we
Right,
go
right.
and make any drastic changes. See what's important for
Right.
our 50 people.
Right.
Right.
Because I remember having this discussion with my union 20-some years ago. This is when IVF was first, and they're like, "Oh wow, that's a mat." And I'm like, "No, you have no idea what younger employees may need in that."
Right.
And so it was a new concept, and you know the amounts seemed fantastic then, but they weren't. You know.
Right.
So.
Okay. Any other questions, anybody? We do have a lot of new faces.
Yeah.
That's not new. Wow, we got a lot of new faces. We got a lot of new faces.
How much?
No, you were on
Yeah.
screen last
Remember,
year.
I was,
Yeah.
what was
Yeah.
the deal? I was vacation?
He's
What
been
was
on screen, I thought the last
it?
2
It
years.
Yeah.
must have been.
The last 2 years, because COVID.
Glad you made it back down.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Just
so
pointed to you, Charlie, when he said that.
so based on Brad's presentation, do I have a motion of support to adopt proposal as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Almond?
Yes.
Alger?
Yes.
Comfort?
Yes.
Strauss?
Yes.
Hermsen?
Yes.
Ibrahim?
Yes.
Ocean?
Yes.
And that passes. Moving on to item C, to consider resolution approving and authorizing an interim agreement 2B with North American Specialty Insurance Company and Graphite Construction related to the Oskaloosa Early Childhood Education and Recreation Center. So this is yet another interim agreement to get work done at the rec center. This one is specifically specific to the exterior punch list, items that we all know we've been trying to get done for a couple of years. And when this work is completed per interim agreement 2, that would complete everything except items related to the natatorium, otherwise known as the pools, closeout documents, and warranties. Do I have a motion of support?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
This is it.
We could, well, it's almost it, but again, this takes care of I think the last item, or we're either really close on the first interim agreement, or it's just been done. This narrows everything remaining down to the pool. Any other questions or discussion? Roll call.
Caligiuri.
Yes.
Comfort.
Yes.
Dross.
Yes.
Hermson.
Yes.
Ibrahim.
Yes.
Ocean.
Yes.
Almond.
Yes.
And that passes on to item D, which is interim agreement 2C. Another interim agreement with North American Specialty Insurance and Graphite. And this interim agreement follows up the first 2A and 2B and outlines the terms for release of retainage. So as we've gone through this project, the $27.3 million, we've been holding 5% retainage on each payment application throughout. And a majority of the work has been completed to satisfaction, and the subcontractors are looking to get the rest of their money for the work that they have done satisfactorily. This agreement specifically calls out for payment, a total payment of about $671,000 paid in 2 installments. The first installment would be made upon our approval of interim agreement 2C. The other half would be paid after completion of interim agreements A and B. And after these payments are made, that still leaves about $1 million, or roughly 3.5% of the original construction contract. Do I have a motion of support?
So moved. Second.
Discussion.
Well, real quick, and this relates back to item C and everything. Who's overseeing the to-do list that's being completed? Do you know?
City's management.
City manager?
The city, SVPA,
Yeah.
the architect, and then the sureties involved as well.
So once these things are done on the punch list, somebody's gonna go out and check that.
Mm-hmm.
And who was that?
That's the agreement we have with the architect.
Yeah. But who is gonna be doing the checking?
The architect.
Oh, nobody from the city?
We do. We
Oh.
have the oversight.
Okay, that's what okay.
But per the contract, the architect is our
Right.
contractual representative.
Right, somebody's gotta check him too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any other discussion? I don't necessarily like the fact that pay 50% of it now. I'll be honest with you, but I also know there's a lot of subs on this, subcontractors who have done great work who have not been paid, and we've been in the building for a while. Barry, you've been here year and a half.
We moved in August 1st, and so, what is that, about 9-10 months now?
Yeah.
We've been in the building.
And we've fully occupied with the exception of the pool, so it's time we get some of these guys paid. And
And the child care center was 2022.
Yeah.
They've been in quite a while.
yeah, thank you.
And we started negotiations on this contract since we approved the first one.
Right. Yep. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Comfort.
Yes.
Dross.
Yes.
Hermson.
Yes.
Ibrahim.
Yes.
Ocean.
Yes.
Almond.
Yes.
Caligiuri.
Yes.
And that passes on to item E. This one here. This is to consider a resolution of approval of pay application number 6 in the amount of $25,000 to Jones Contracting Corp. for the South 7th reconstruction project. The city's received pay application 6 in the amount of $25,000 for this project, which was to reconstruct the roadway between 9th Avenue East and 15th Avenue East. This pay application primarily for the early release of retainage per the Iowa DOT process. The remaining $5,000 retainage will be held until the final pay application.
You're on the wrong.
Am I on the wrong one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to,
We're just trying to figure out where you were, yeah.
Yeah. We're on the pool,
which
right?
one are we on?
The YMCA agreement.
YMCA.
24 lessons.
I got,
Yeah, you did.
sorry about that.
I think you pulled up the consent item.
I'm looking, I'm sorry.
Like, why do they need
Strike
to vote
that.
for the pool?
Strike that. We'll start over. I couldn't figure out why my printout that Alex gave me was wrong.
Do you
That's-
think I would do that to you?
No, you wouldn't. I just scrolled too far on my tablet. Okay, so let's start over. It's a consider resolution authorizing the entry into a swim lesson management agreement with the Madison County YMCA and the city of Oskaloosa for swim lessons at the Edmondson Pool. And we received a proposal from the YMCA for a summer swimming program consisting of 8 swim lesson instruction sessions, each spanning 35 minutes to be held at the Edmondson Pool over the summer. To ensure the safety and success of these sessions, the Madison County YMCA would provide the qualified swim instructors, while the city of Oskaloosa is requested to supply the certified lifeguards and allow the use of the city pool for the classes. The anticipated cost providing the lifeguards is approximately $2,400. The city and the YMCA personnel believe this collaborative effort between the YMCA and the city of Oskaloosa and will greatly benefit the community by providing invaluable swim lesson instructions to local youth, instilling vital life skills, promoting a healthy lifestyle, and the proposed action is consistent with city's strategic goal 1.4, promoting arts, culture, and recreation amenities and opportunities for utilization as well as collaborative community goals. So with that, do I have a motion of support for this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Barry, so how are they gonna work that with like the open hours? Is it gonna be before?
Yeah, it'll be before your regular hours. I'd also note that these are free swim lessons to the community.
Right.
You don't have to be a member of the YMCA.
You don't have, okay.
Oh,
We
really?
received a sizable grant to provide free community swim lessons through the end of the year.
Okay, excellent. And so, that's not gonna affect the lap swimmers, right? Is that a different time?
It should not, but I think we're still having some conversations about that.
Okay, because I had several emails about the lap swimming.
Yeah, I have too. We all have.
Okay,
I leave that up to Stuart to,
okay,
Right now, I'm going to go ahead and comment on that. So,
Okay.
not only will it not affect our lap swimmers, it's actually going to benefit. It will be at the same time, so we will be able to provide lifeguards for the lap swimming.
Perfect.
Because there was conversation about lap swimming not taking place or taking place. So, this is, again, a collaborative effort to accommodate lap swimming.
excellent. No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks, Stu.
So I wanted to clarify, so this is free swim lessons, and that because of the grant, and then how are you advertising that? Because this is the one thing my mom was insistent, God, we hated it, and she paid money for them.
Yeah, I mean, I would
So
note
this
that,
is great.
Drowning is the #1 cause of accidental death for young kids, #2 for older adolescents, and so we believe strongly in this as a life-saving
Oh, yeah.
activity for our community. And so we've been advertising it amongst our members through our social media. There's flyers out around the community. The city's more than welcome, and we really encourage you to push that out through your channels as well.
What's the age, Barry?
The age is over
Do you
4.
wanna look at the microphone?
Sorry.
So,
it's ages 4 and above, and literally all the way above. So if you know any
Okay.
adults who need to learn how to swim,
Okay.
we can teach them as well.
4 and above. Okay, great. Yes, I'll put something out. Thank you.
Is there anything being done like at the schools? You know, because I know when you're a parent of kids, it's hard to miss a lot of things.
Yeah,
you
we
know.
push it out through Oski schools as well.
Okay, great.
And so I think it comes to about 450 free swim lessons is what we're looking to provide, and we're somewhere in the 200 range already, so we're getting there.
200 already signed up already?
Yeah, I think last time I looked at the chart, about 50% of all the available swim lessons for the summer have already been registered for. So the community
That's awesome.
is aware of it and are signing up.
Super. That's excellent.
Yeah, this is great.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Barry. Any other questions, comments?
Where was the 2,700 coming from, dollars?
Regular budget.
Which budget? Oh, okay.
Basically paying the lifeguards that are gonna be there,
Yeah.
gonna be there anyway.
And they'll be there for lap swim as well, which is something
Yeah,
we
that's
were-
great.
we were already obligated,
Super.
you know,
Yeah.
and hoping to expand. So, yeah,
All right, roll call.
that's great.
Dross,
Yes.
Carson,
Yes.
Ibrahim.
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond.
Yes.
Valjeri.
Yes.
Comfort.
Yes.
And that passes, and now that we're back on track with the proper agenda item, item F, to consider a resolution authorizing the use of public equipment and services for a public purpose with a public entity. The Oskaloosa School District has requested the use of city resources to make improvements to a driveway on their property leading to the baseball fields on the east end of the property, and this is the high school. It's currently gravelled, school like a chip seal surface. Chapter 364 of the Code of Iowa requires that the City Council determine that a public purpose will be accomplished by the proposed use of city equipment and services. The proposed work includes 650 lineal feet of driveway of varying widths, and staff is estimated to take about 52 man-hours spread across 4 staff members and 40 and a half equipment hours to complete the work. Staff has estimated this as approximately $4,325 of value in labor and equipment, and the school district will pay for any material costs for the project. And this action is consistent with strategic plan of the city, goal 2.4, and increasing partnerships with the school and collaboration within the community. Date of the work is yet to be determined. Do I have a motion of support?
Moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
With the new stadium, it'll be a very good facelift for that. It's much needed.
The baseball and softball fields are brand new, and it is gravel and it is dusty back there, so it'll be a nice way to partner. Any other comments? Roll call.
Carson,
Yes.
Ibrahim.
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond.
Yes.
Valjeri.
Yes.
Comfort.
Abstain.
Dross.
Yes. On to item G, to consider resolution approving professional services with agreement with Garden & Associates for engineering services related to the 2025 sanitary sewer improvement project. This agreement would be for the engineering services for this sanitary sewer work in 2025. The project was already designed by Garden as Project 3A in the influent infiltration improvements project, but it had not yet been completed due to budget constraints. Scope of services for the agreement includes revisions and updates to the final plans and specifications, bid phase services, and construction phase services for the reconstruction of sanitary sewer in the vicinity of South A and South B streets from between 4th Avenue West to 8th Avenue West. Garden has prepared the agreement and the amount not to exceed $148,400 to provide these services. And staff recommends the approval. Do I have a motion of support?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Ibrahim.
Yes.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond.
Yes.
Valjeri.
Yes.
Comfort.
Yes.
Dross.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
And that passes on to item H, to consider an ordinance amending chapter 5.24 peddlers, solicitors, and transient merchants of the Oskaloosa Municipal Code, and this is the second reading. Due to an uptick in number of applications processed for transient merchant licensing with the increase of food trucks within the city in the past 2 years, the proposed amendment is to streamline the review and approval process for both convenience of the customer and efficiency on staff processing time. The proposed process improvements consistent with strategic plan goal 2.2 to increase the efficiency and effectiveness of our government. Do I have a motion of support for the second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Ocean,
Yes.
Almond.
Yes.
Calgery.
Yes.
Comfort.
Yes.
Strauss.
Yes.
Hermson.
Yes.
Huberman.
Yes.
And that passes, and that finishes our regular agenda. Reports from city staff, city manager, city clerk,
No, sir, thank you.
David.
Nothing, thank you, sir.
All right. City council, Lisa.
Yes, I was just going to compliment the city staff that set up the Edmondson Playground dedication. It was just you guys even got great weather, so and donuts, and there were people to talk, and just all the kids. And I was particularly pleased as president of the Lions Club because then we were able to dedicate the Lion Fountain that was a memorial gift, and that I thought I wanted to do something kind of fun in that. And I guess I've heard every kid who's at the playground has to go see that Lion Fountain. But thank you. It was a very, very nice day. And I will not be at the next meeting. I am going to Amsterdam and then on to Poland for a conference. So I will not be coming in via Zoom.
Right.
So I know Joe will miss me.
I'll be over there when you go over there.
Joe will be gone too. All right, Joe, anything?
Well, I won't be here for the next 2 meetings because I'll be in the Netherlands for 3 weeks.
Okay,
Alright.
we will see each other. That would be
I
weird,
don't
you
know
know.
about that.
Charlie, what travel plans do you have?
I'll be in Chicago next week.
Okay. and Janet just got back. Anything you want to share, Charlie?
Just a reminder, everyone, to be weather aware tomorrow, and for those who are not aware, our siren policy would be. Most recent information I have down here would be if there's a tornado warning issued by the National Weather Service that affects Oskaloosa, if there's a tornado or funnel cloud reported by a trained spotter, the sirens will be sounded, or if there's a severe thunderstorm warning with winds of 70 miles per hour or greater forecasted for Oskaloosa, the sirens will be sounded. So, just be weather aware tomorrow.
Perfect. Janet.
Yes. So summer events are starting to kick off. So in June, upcoming for the Chamber in Oskaloosa Main Street, June 7th is the first Friday after 5, starting at 5 p.m. That is also the alumni reunion, followed by Saturday, June 8th at 9 a.m. Art on the Square. Then June 14th, we have Friday after 5 and barbecue for badges. And then wrapping up Friday after 5, June 21st at 5 p.m. If you are interested in volunteering with any of those events, there is a sign-up page, or I can get you set up with the ladies at the Chamber.
Thank you. Rhonda?
Oh, thanks, Bob.
Boom. Nothing. All right. Well, I think as we were going through the agenda, something that stuck out to me as we go through these items, I just want to commend city manager and staff for a lot of these items, noting how they relate back to the strategic plan that we worked on as a council. And it's nice to talk through topics and have something to base those decisions off of. It's not something that we've had before. And as we're considering items as a council, as city staff, I know Sean working with developers and such, whether it be on a site plan or development agreement, it certainly comes in handy to have that to refer back to. So kudos to the staff. Also, I mean, there's just some good things happening. I think this week the Tasty Treat is opening. The Spirit Cafe is opening. I think ribbon cutting on Tuesday for that. Quick Start had an item at the planning and zoning last week. So again, there's lots of positive developments happening in the community. We need to be proud of what's happening, all the development. So with that,
Bob,
yes,
may I comment?
sure,
I don't know if it's off the agenda or not, but
please.
I just wanted to let folks know, and this is relatively new, and we're a little late getting the promo out on this, but the Food Truck Park and the YMCA are partnering on May 31st, and we're doing a movie in the park right behind the food truck. So if you haven't heard about that yet, if anyone's watching us, bring your family. It's a lawn chair and blanket kind of thing. There'll be food trucks, games for You know, we'll have bags and we'll have playground areas set up for the kids, and then the Toy Story 3 will start at 7 o'clock. So 5 to 9
Fantastic.
over at the food truck park.
Perfect. Thank you, Barry. And with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Moved. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Good job.